Now hear a verdict read as I will order to be recorded by the clerk. State of Ohio versus Mark Pickens. Verdict, count 2, Noel Washington. We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn, do hereby find by proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the aggravating circumstances that the defendant was found guilty of committing do outweigh the mitigating factors presented in count 2. We therefore unanimously recommend that the sentence of death should be imposed upon Mark Pickens and our 12 signatures.
In accordance with the laws of the state of Texas, this court hereby sentences your punishment of death. It is therefore the order of this court that you, Dexter Darnell Johnson, be delivered by the Sheriff of Harris County, Texas, to the Director of the Institutional Division of the...
As follows, in the case of State of Ohio versus Rayshawn Johnson, case number B 97-087-45, count 1, aggravated murder. The court finds that the aggravating circumstances that the defendant was found guilty of committing do outweigh the mitigating factors presented in this case by proof beyond a reasonable doubt. I therefore find that the sentence of death shall be imposed upon Rayshawn Johnson by lethal injection.
Race is the greatest predictor of who gets the death penalty in the United States.
I see race as really defining in many ways the death penalty. I mean, I think we have to be real that it's never been the case that the death penalty is our response to murder. It's never been the case that the death penalty is the penalty that most murderers get. It's a tiny percentage of all murders that have ever gotten the death penalty in this country, and then of the people who get the death penalty, only about 30% of them actually get executed. So it is a symbolic thing, and when it's a symbolic thing, what that means is that we're executing somebody to prove.
In Georgia, you're 11 times more likely to get the death penalty if the victim is white than if the victim is a person of color. You're 22 times more likely to get the death penalty if the offender is black and the victim is white.
I was excluded because of my race.
I should have had that right to review on that jury. If I qualified for it, I should have had the right to do it, not because of my race or color or anything like that.
One of the cases that Judge Weeks decided, he had to review evidence from hundreds of jury selections and hundreds of jurors. He found over 100 examples of discrimination against African American jurors based on their...
It makes you wonder about whether all these people are being given a fair trial or given a fair consequence as far as the death penalty.
Georgia has scheduled an execution date for death row prisoner Troy Davis, whose case has been taken up by death penalty opponents across the globe.
The Troy Davis case epitomizes so much that's wrong with the death penalty. You had a poor black man charged with killing a white police officer, a young white police officer.
There was no physical evidence tying Troy Davis to the case, or to the murder, I should say. There was no gun ever found. So the entire case really was based on eyewitness testimony, and 7 of the 9 witnesses who testified against him ended up recanting their testimony.